Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, giving you the State of the Saints podcast halftime report. As of right now, the New Orleans Saints are losing to the Tennessee Titans by a score of 13 to 6. The first half for the New Orleans Saints, it was pretty rough. The Tennessee Titans were able to sustain drives. There were a lot of guys that were out of position defensively. And just like we've seen over the last few weeks, the Saints offense leaves a lot to be desired. Trevor Siemian, even though, he's made some good passes, he's taken some sacks. I want to say he's been sacked 4 times in the first half. You also have wide receivers who are not catching passes. And it's just man, it is just so stagnant, that offense of the New Orleans Saints. But they're still in it. They get the ball at the start of the second half, and they're going to have to find ways to try to get themselves back into this game. You have to give the Tennessee Titans credit. They're showing a lot of offensive innovation. They're able to, do a lot of things that the Saints, I don't think, were prepared for. They got key players that have been really beneficial for the Saints defensively. They got these guys looking bad. I have to say this is probably Marshawn Lattimore's worst game I've seen him play. He seems like, they're really, taking advantage of him. Also, Quan Alexander. Um, I mean, it was it's just not a good look. But I will say this. The NFL has an issue that they need to address, and I'm talking about some of these calls. That call that they called on Caden Ellis for roughing the passer, roughing Ryan Tannehill, was one of the most sorriest calls I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, a guy was nowhere near his helmet, and it was a big play. The Saints had an opportunity to get a turnover because Marcus Williams caught the ball in the back of the end zone. But then, you have all these different, penalties that they called on the Saints to sustain drive for the Tennessee Titans to get them the go-ahead score. And this is one of the main reasons why people get on television or they feel as if the NFL is rigged and fixed when you have referees that can dictate the game like this. There's no way in the world that was roughing the passer. They need to come up with some type of solution. Maybe they need to do a powwow or get together and maybe even take a look at the play once again, because that kind of stuff messes with the momentum of the game. And, and it also helped the Tennessee Titans actually regain momentum. And also, that pass interference call, it's just ridiculous, man. It's just absolutely ridiculous to watch. And anybody that's in a league office that feels like that's the type of football that people want to see, they're sadly mistaken, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves, because I'm tired of watching stuff like this. Look, if the Tennessee Titans are better than the Saints on this day, fine. But let it be mano a mano. I hate when games are dictated by the referees, because you're not really getting a foregone conclusion of who is the better team. That was a really good opportunity for the Saints to get back into the football game, and the referees really screwed the Saints out of that. Uh, one thing about Trevor Siemian, this guy's a statue in the pocket. Even though he makes smart decisions, he's a statue in the pocket. So if he doesn't have perfect timing, if he doesn't have all day to throw the ball, he holds on to the ball too long, and you cannot, I repeat, cannot take a sack at that particular point. Throw the ball away. I don't know why he was holding on to the football, but something has to get done. The wide receivers, once again, I see him dropping passes. Kevin White had opportunity to sustain the drive, catch a really good pass. And it's hard for me to say, oh, Trevor Siemian should have put it in the right place when I seen 5'0" Deontay Harris reach out and dive in front of himself to catch a pass. So I can't give Kevin White a pass on that. And you also have Juwan Johnson, who dropped the pass. I mean, this is just ridiculous, man. I mean, can we get some wide receivers and some pass catchers that can actually catch the damn football? I mean, it's tough enough this offense can't move the football, but when the ball actually gets in their hands and you got guys dropping it, you're helping the defense all together. But what would I like to see in the second half? I don't know. Heck, I don't know. Maybe some sustained drives, maybe some wide receivers going out there catching the football. Hell, maybe the defense can stop the Tennessee Titans from all these doggone crossing routes that they've been calling. I mean, this is crazy. The boot action has been killing the Saints all game long. And this isn't like this is something that always This isn't something that just happened today. This has been a constant thing with the New Orleans Saints. These boot action passes, these crossing routes that teams call on them, and you see guys just wide open running in the middle of the field. You cannot call yourself one of the best defenses in football if you're allowing yourself to get beat like that. You cannot call yourself one of the most elite tackling teams in the NFL when you're allowing guys to go out here and break off and then gain another 10 or 15 yards. I mean, I understand the offensive innovation of the Tennessee Titans, and I'm not taking it away from them, but the New Orleans Saints have too many good pass catches. I mean, too many defensive players, too many guys that have too many snaps for them to fall for the same things over and over and over and over again. And I'm getting tired of watching that. The defense has got to step up. They got to get pressure on Ryan Tannehill. It's just as simple as that. You're calling a blitz where you bring 6 and nobody gets home. You know what I'm saying? You're calling linebacker blitz. He doesn't get home. All these different exotic blitzes that you're calling, and nobody can get to Ryan Tannehill. You got to get this guy on the ground. This isn't like Ryan Tannehill is one of the most elite quarterbacks of all time or something. This guy, if you get pressure on him, he will get rattled. And the Saints have not been able to do that. So they're going to have to get pressure on this guy. Also, they're not out of the realm of running the football. I would like to see more of Mark Ingram running the football. I would like to see them use the screen pass a little bit more because I've seen on a couple plays where the screen actually works. On one play, Adam Troutman, he just didn't wait for his block to develop. He probably would have had another 5 or 6 yards. And then, there were opportunities that the screen pass can actually play. I like the fact that the Saints are trying to throw the ball down the field, but these wide receivers have got to come up big. They have to win. They got to win their one-on-one matchups. They're not playing cover 2 or anything like this. These guys are playing man across the board. And once again, the Saints wide receivers, for the most part, are showing that they can't break off man-to-man coverage, which is absolutely frustrating to me. Look, I didn't expect for this game to be easy. I didn't expect for this game to be a simple game. But I definitely expected for the Saints to play better defensively than I've seen. And I expected for them to be able to control the time of possession, which they have not been able to do. Let me read some of your comments. I'm going to start with Keen Arthur. He says, TJ, normally I'm with you, but that pass Kevin White didn't catch wasn't his fault. Simeon should have flattened the pass out towards the sidelines, which is what White expected. Look, at the same time, if you look at that pass in slow motion, he had both hands on the football. Look, every time, you know what I'm saying, every pass ain't going to come out perfectly. You know what I'm saying? I understand what should have been done, but when you have 2 hands on the football, you got to be able to catch that football. If we want to get technical about it, the pass that he threw to Deontay Harris wasn't a good pass. Like guys have to be able to make some plays, man. And when the ball, you have 2 hands on a football, it's kind of hard for me to feel sorry and say, oh, man, the quarterback should know. The quarterback threw the ball out there, and when you got 2 hands on it, you need to catch it. Everything is not going to go out perfect. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, it was a little bit more of a complex pass. I will agree to that. If he would have, maybe put it out there, you know what I'm saying, on the outside, maybe it would have been better because he expected it. But at the same time, when you got 2 hands on the football, you need to catch it. And as much as I'm rooting for Kevin White to try to resurrect his career a little bit, it's Kevin freaking White. You know what I'm saying? How many times have we seen him drop passes? So, it's hard for me to say, oh, man, Kevin, like he would have caught that, because most of the time I see Kevin White, we are hoping and praying that he catch a pass, and he didn't do it once again. So, hindsight is 20/20, I guess. I can understand what you're saying, Keen Arthur, but wide receivers are paid to catch the ball, especially when they got 2 hands on it. Ashley says, and what the hell is wrong with Lattimore today? His footwork and balance today is so off. He's falling all over the field, and he seems to be 2 steps behind the play. Yeah, he's not looking like himself today. I don't know what's going on with that. That's one of the main reasons why people talk about Marshawn Lattimore, and they talk about his inconsistency at the cornerback position, and why people are, waiting and reserving their judgment when they say that he's one of the best cornerbacks in the league. He goes out there, he plays like he's the best cornerback in the league one game, and then the next game he looks like he's one of the worst. So the inconsistency of Marshawn Lattimore is one of the main reasons why people don't put him in that conversation. Let's see. Chemo says, I agree, Ashley, but when nobody's getting open, the quarterback is not mobile enough to get away We have to get separation. The sack was unacceptable, but quarterback's not an issue. Look, Simeon is who he is. Like Simeon is a statue. He's not a guy that's going to run outside the pocket. He's a guy that's going to stand there in the pocket, hoping that the offensive line block for him so he can read between his progressions to throw the ball down the field. He's not going to be a guy that's going to run the football. That's just what it is. But I will say this, and something that is going to be troubling and something that he may need to work on. I feel like Trevor Siemian panicked a little bit when he has pressure in his face. I mean, he's panicking a little bit too much. He doesn't show that same level of poise. He shows poise in the pocket when everything is working for him. But I just feel like sometimes, like when guys get it, it's an opportunity where he probably can move around in the pocket to get away from the defender. It's like as soon as the guy gets close to him, all of a sudden it seems like he starts to get rattled or he decides to fall down or something like that. So, I would like for him to make better decisions in the pocket, rather throw the football away, but you cannot continue to eat a sack like that. I mean, 4 sacks in the first half is definitely unacceptable, especially on that 2-minute drill. The defensive assignments leave them vulnerable to boot plays. The players are playing their assignments. DA scheme doesn't work against anybody backside. Look, I just think that they're going to have to change it up in the second half. I definitely agree with what you're saying there. They're going to have to change it up because somebody was watching that tape of that Las Vegas Raiders, and they was watching they was watching that tape with the Carolina Panthers because some of the same things, some of the same things happen. All right, but I'm about to go ahead and check out the second half, check out the post-game show of the State of the Saints podcast immediately following the game. Hopefully the Saints can get it together in the second half. Till next time, all I gotta say is, who dat?